Nigeria. You are the chairman here in River State, but your organization or association, what exactly are you about? What do you do?
Oh, all right. The society is a society of all professional disaster risk managers in Nigeria, and we have a state branch, and I am the state chairman. So we are trained by the University of Port Harcourt and other six disaster management centers across the country. It's a program that was put together by NEMA in order to enhance research and disaster risk management across the country. So we have six disaster management centers in Nigeria. And of course, that of the South-South is situated here in the University of Port Harcourt. Yeah.
So you talk about disaster and risk management.
Yeah.
Uh, does that suggest that you are being trained, or members of your association, or any other person who is related to your, to your field of endeavor, is simply being trained to manage it when they do happen, or is it with a view to even preventing them from happening in the first place?
Okay. This training covers the four management areas.
Not necessarily your training here at Uniport. I'm speaking generally now.
Oh, I'm asking also general.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So the training is general. Disasters are supposed to be looked at before, during, and after. And there are four management, cycles for disaster management globally. And they are prevention, preparedness, response, and recovery, and building better. And so all these four areas are key for disaster management. And I can tell you that if you don't prepare for disaster, response will be itself a disaster. You cannot respond to something you have not prepared for. Okay? And that is why we have, in the instance of, in cases related to flood, NIMET and other agencies of the federal government give us warning. We call them early warning systems. Those early warnings are for action to be taken, are for preparedness plans. And they come every year, about January, February every year. For this year, I think we're a little bit lucky because they said that the floods were going to come. And we needed to plan for it. We needed to prepare. We needed to move things. We needed to clean the drains, clear the drains, remove the debris, the pathways, the canals, that take water away from the city centers were supposed to be clean. But I can gladly tell you, you and I are in Port Harcourt, in the Niger Delta, the floods did not come. But last year, it was here.
I think for this conversation, I perceive we might focus on preparedness, prevention, and management in the event of disasters. That said, in your experience, and I do concede that we may have issues in every part of the country, I think it's very important to put that caveat when we discuss matters concerning River State, especially more often than not. Yes, we do have similar issues or concerns in other parts of the country as well. Now, caveat put forward. Let's get to River State then. In your professional experience, how would you rate the preparedness levels of River State to deal with emergencies, to deal with risks or disasters of any kind for that matter? We will home in on specifics shortly, but generally speaking, how would you rate our preparedness levels in River State?
Oh, well, it's a little bit difficult to rate it, but I would say that the fact that we have a training center here in the University of Port Harcourt, designated by NEMA for training professionals, is a level of preparedness. And again, that we have a Ministry of Special Duties that oversees issues of disaster preparedness. And again, arising from what we saw with COVID-19, I think that the state has a good level of preparedness to handle issues of disaster.
All right, you talked about floods just a while ago.
Yeah.
You talked about how when NIMET and other agencies of government give these flood alerts or warnings, these warnings are given so we can move stuff around, move people around, clean up areas we need to clean up, ensure the thoroughways are thorough and all of that. And with our experiences in the past and even recent past, do we respond to those warnings adequately and appropriately in real estate? And I'm asking based on a professional experience or expertise here.
Oh, sadly. I think it's sad because even if the floods that were predicted didn't come, you could see in areas within town that when rains fall heavily, we still have impacts. It tells me that the drains are still blocked. As close to you as on Sass Road, the drains, both sides are blocked. And a section of the road is covered with water as we speak. And it goes to other places around town. We're not talking about outskirts of Port Harcourt, we're talking about within Port Harcourt. So we still need to do more in terms of preparedness.
All right, now let's talk about the fires that have raged in recent days in Port Harcourt in different parts. Rumokoro here, Nembe, and I think the reports that we had fires in some other parts of the state as well, possibly even the city of Port Harcourt. Preparedness or prevention rather.
Yeah.
Is there much we could have done or anything at all to have prevented those incidents?
Let me put on record that I have not been to the sites of those fires. But if you talk about Nembe Waterside, as what we know it to be, it's a ferry place where transporters, and commuters move on the rivers to outskirts of Port Harcourt. And so getting fuel, I'm sure a few days ago, last week or thereabout, they were, talking about price hikes in petroleum products. I'm sure, or I would be thinking that a whole lot of people had gone into, keeping fuel in large quantities in their stocks. And of course, that if you go there now, you will see the kind of shanties and all sorts that they store those things in. And given what fire is, the fire triangle tells us that there is heat, there's oxygen, and there is fuel, there will be fire. And so proper storage of these things and not keeping them and hoarding them for later use is encouraged. And people are not taking heed to that. And I would be thinking that that could have led to fires of this nature.
However, the only thing that one thing I'd like to note is, however, that these fires in question, the one in Nembe you mentioned, for example, and even the one here at Rumoko, were not started because domestic users of petroleum products maybe anticipating some scarcity due to an expected increase in pump price of petrol, while storing this at home. From information available, and it's in public domain, these fires were not started because of domestic users. As a matter of fact, here's the police spokesperson, Nnamdi Emone, speaking on the name-based situation. He told our correspondent that bodies were burnt beyond recognition, 4 persons died. He also said that as a result of this, the police commissioner has set up a task force to monitor illegal oil refining business in the state. He's urged the public to provide information on the operations of these illegal refineries in the state as well. I'd like to play back what the police spokesperson had to say on the subject matter. Just a moment while all right, here we are.
Police firemen are let us know. We will deal with them accordingly. We'll be dealing with them, so we cannot stop. That matter was not reported to any police station. We were there. I called the DPO. He said no such case was reported. So we cannot investigate what was not reported. We were there when I put a call across to the DPO, and he denied knowledge of it. So if you see any police officer, getting involved in this act of criminality, please do let us know. This is even worse than stealing. This is economic sabotage and even can lead to death.
All right, and the fire that took place at Rumokoro as well, I don't know if you heard about that also. It's also been reported. I think I'd like to play back the comment of one of an eyewitness regarding that particular incident at Rumokoro as well. Just a moment while I also bring that one up as to the cause of the fire at Rumokoro as well. I think this is that. Okay, just not. Okay, there we are. There is what an eyewitness had to say regarding that.
Yes, the thing was exploding. We rush to see whether is it gas storage or is it real crude or produce product. And then there's a underground depot there, block tank, where after the refining, they store it there.
As I was passing, I heard that blow, boom, like something exploded. So I was thinking, is a tire that just exploded. I noticed some flame going up. Got into the place, I noticed that they were doing some illegal oil fire.
All right, so that's much I can take. So it's obvious right now, these are not domestic users who are simply storing one or two jerry cans at home. These are explicitly, apparently, obviously, the activities of illegal oil bunkerers and those engaged in similar activities.
Thank you for the question. You and I know that petroleum products are on the exclusive list. There are issues that are on the concurrent list that are shared between the federal government and the state governments, and there are issues that fall.
No, what I'm asking is that these fires that were as a result of these activities, could they have been prevented? I'm not asking whether or not it's the state government or federal government that's responsible.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
I quite believe, and I strongly suggest that they can be prevented if the federal government, a few years ago, too, or thereabout, the federal government came out with a solution to the problem. They suggested modular refineries, which could have been controlled by the federal government. Those operators would have been known, they would have been registered and controlled, but it has not left the planning stage. And these boys are, keep going on and wreaking havoc on the environment, on people, and on livelihoods. And I believe that it can be stopped. And I said so when I spoke to your media people, that it should be stopped. There is no going back about it. A few days ago also, the Minister for State for Petroleum, Chief Timi Silva, talked about the suits, ravaging suits in parts of the Niger Delta, and it's all related to coal fire. And I think that the federal government should stop. We should, put plans in place to ensure that this is stopped. It can't be stopped. They can't be monitored. They can't be enforced. It can be enforced, and there are two-pronged, ways of enforcing them. Enforcing by the use of security agencies to clamp down on them by enforcing that they stop, and enforcement by education. And I think I go for the second one, enforcement by education, which will ensure that the people who are involved know the impact, the implications, the consequences on the environment, on the people, on livelihoods, on our Niger Delta, our beloved state.
It is 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. River State Response Team, Society of Professional Disaster Risk Managers of Nigeria, River State Chapter, calling for an end to illegal oil refining. We're speaking to the issue of preparedness to manage risks or disasters here in River State. My guest is the River State Chairman of the association aforementioned. We go for Dr. Abel. We'll go for a quick break right now. We'll return shortly. Discussions will continue. You can join the conversation via the usual platforms. Please stay with us. We'll be right back in a bit.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
This is an infomercial on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Thanks, stay tuned to listen to the following announcement. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work for eternity. Buy KCL digital assets now and earn passive income up to 10% APY via NFT smart contract KCL Wealth and Staking. For details, WhatsApp 0812 344 8735. That's 0812 344 8735. Or visit the website www.kcclounge.net. Pay us a visit at 21 Airport Road, Debwag Plaza. That's the announcement.
Keeping up with political issues and developments around you only on Nigeria Info.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Diode.
And welcome back. Many thanks for staying tuned once again. It's still Hard Fact Time. Our conversation continues 22 minutes ago before 5 o'clock. My guest is still with me in the studio. Abel Jeremiah is Chairman, Society Professional Disaster Risk Managers of Nigeria, River State Chapter. Abel Jeremiah, welcome once again.
Thank you.
We're discussing disaster and risk management preparedness levels here in River State, amongst other issues. Once again, join the conversation via the usual platforms. We are live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH, WhatsApp on 0809 0306416. Numbers to call are 0817 93 0002 or 0003 or 0007. We'll attend to your messages and the calls shortly. But one or two more questions, pardon me, for my guest at this time. Talking about preparedness levels to manage disasters, especially here in River State. We do have a National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. That's a national response agency, even though NEMA can do a lot more than they're doing. But you find that in some states of the Federation, they do have a state version, state disaster management or response agencies. To the best of my knowledge, we do not have that in River State. Now, from a more professional standpoint, does that in any way impact on our preparedness levels as far as disaster and risk management in River State is concerned? I'd like to get your response to that. And also, the issue of the fire service, for example, in River State, which has come to the fore severally, especially now. Some of the fires we had recently, we had to rely on the Federal Fire Service to respond to those. From what you know about the River State Fire Service, which has been reported to be somewhat moribund, sometime earlier this year or so, we had a report of Fire Service, River State Fire Service officials complaining of a lack of equipment. They're not even well paid. They talked about allowances that probably were brought into law decades ago, and ridiculous working conditions. Your take on these two issues?
All right. Your first question has to do with SEMA, State Emergency Management Agency. We as a society have made several calls on the River State government to set up SEMA. That has not come to fruition. A couple of days ago, in fact, during the third biennial conference on disaster risk reduction here in Port Harcourt that held at the University of Port Harcourt, there was a senator that came representing the chairman of the committee on special duties, and they have oversight function on NEMA and disasters in Nigeria. And one begins to wonder why we are asking the states to have SEMA when the National Assembly, the Red Chambers itself, has oversight function domiciled for NEMA and disasters in special duties. Now, these arguments may not go down well with the states when the center is not setting any example that should be followed, and we are driving the states to have SEMA. We have not withdrawn that request that the states should have SEMA because that's what the Sendai framework stipulates that we should have, to be able to have governance issues go down from the national to the periphery. That's what it should be. We are still asking that SEMA be instituted in states, not just River State alone, but all other states that don't have SEMA should, the governors and state administrations should begin to have them.
Not having SEMA in any state and River State, does it in any way impact on that state's ability to manage disasters when they do happen?
Yes, technically it does. And I'll tell you that relationship with NEMA will be more friendly and cordial with the state SEMA rather than the state ministries of special duties that they do not have correlation with. So yes, it does affect, because reportage from state emergency management agencies and to the national will be easier and seamless compared to getting reportage from ministries dealing with agencies at the federal. So my answer is yes, it will have.
How about the issue of the state fire service here in River State?
Oh wow. I think for us to have a functional, efficient and reliable fire service, they should be properly paid. I don't know about what their salaries or pays are, and then they should also have functional equipment in terms of trucks and availability of water and other resources that are needed to respond. Because like I said earlier, if you don't prepare, the response will be difficult and hectic. And this goes into preparation. If they don't have water, they don't have vehicles and men, trained men who are able to man these vehicles, then response will be difficult. So as a radio station, as journalists, I think that it's your duty to investigate this and also ensure that government is being washed from this other end.
More often than not, whenever there are disasters, and this is not peculiar to River State, in different parts of the country, there is an outcry as to what federal agencies have done or have not done. And whilst in no way trying to help the federal government or federal agencies shelve their responsibility, might one say that it is exclusively the responsibility, or should be the exclusive responsibility, of federal agencies to respond to disasters in states? Or do states have a responsibility as well to respond to these disasters even before federal agencies are called on?
I can tell you this. Disasters, why warnings are given for disasters are that there are different levels of response. Individuals have responsibility to respond. Communities do have, local governments have, states will have, before it will get to the national. Every disaster is local. Like you will say, the fire incident is Nembe Waterside. It's a local place. And by what we're doing now, by what the frameworks are talking about, there should be local responders who should be able to take care of things before help comes. If you are not able to do anything, you wallow in your own disaster, because you are supposed to be able to do some things. You are supposed to be able to take off your things. If flood is entering your house, you will not wait for NEMA, or you will not wait for the federal government to come and pack your things. There are things you can do. In fact, that's why the early warnings are given.
Now, you talked about your association, right? You said you have 6 offices across the country, am I right?
The training centers.
Oh, the training centers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Across the country, and,
Yes.
and the one in the south is domiciled here in River State.
Yes.
In Port
that's
Harcourt.
Port Harcourt.
Is the River State government tapping into the, no doubt, wealth of experience, expertise, and professionalism and knowledge, from the training institutes here in Port Harcourt? I'm sure there are other professionals like yourself all over Port Harcourt and River State and surrounding. Is the government tapping enough into the wealth of expertise and experience that you have in preventing, and managing disasters in the state?
I think they will if they get when they get to know, or if they get to know about the center and what the center is doing. Severally, the center has hosted programs, seminars, and workshops, and the state government is usually invited. The last conference I talked about, the state government and other functionaries of the River State government were informed about it and invited. I wouldn't know whether there was any representation to that conference, and if they get to know, I think it will serve them better, because there's a whole world of human resource that have been trained out of that place, and from the postgraduate diploma to masters and to the PhD program. Yes.
Let's get your take now. Maybe a few calls. The lines are up. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817 923 0007. A reminder, we're live on facebook.com/Nigeria-PH. WhatsApp is on 0809 030 6416. Once again, if you comment via Facebook right now, yes indeed, and Philip Brown on Facebook goes, no state in Nigeria will say it is ready. Absolutely lie. When we have common fire, disaster, or crime, you do not see the fire service or police responding rapidly. All we hear is big talk. Let's hear better news. Okay. All right. Also, feel free to join the conversation. Let's see. I think via. Okay, let's go to the phone lines now. Hello, hard Frank to welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Akabete.
Go ahead, please.
I have a question for the moderator or the person invited in the list. Are they functioning on paper, or they are functioning where people can see?
What do you mean by
because
that? Hello. Just to help you out. This is like your question right now is like accusing ICANN and asking ICANN if
no,
just a moment, please. Okay, just to help that caller and any other person who has a similar expression or similar position as he does. If you have issues with government accountability, for example, and then you're not asking ICANN members if they are functioning or not. They are accountants. They have an association. They work in the private sector and public sector. If government wants to be accountable, that's up to government. Now, we have disaster and risk management professionals under this organization or association. If government chooses to be responsible about risk or disaster management, that's government responsibility. You cannot blame professionals who are trained to do it for not doing the job if government does not get their services. I hope that caller understands that. Now, back to the phone lines. Hello, hard fact to welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, go ahead.
My name is Ike, and I'm calling from TRA.
Go ahead, Ike.
One thing with Nigerian government is all the institutions are all window dressing. They don't just do anything. They just put signboards there, and they just leave it up like that. And they go to work, month end, they collect salary. That's all. They don't do nothing. Nothing. I wonder in the first place why they allow this profile to start on. They know how Nigeria behaves. Well, it just gets worse. It don't get better. So they're supposed to, the government's supposed to be flexible. When things happen like that, they do it that way because that is how the public does it. So when they initiate laws, then the public will change it to the other way. They should be flexible. And then change this police, shift all this police out of this state and bring new departments to this place. These people are rotten prone.
All right, great to hear from you as well. And via WhatsApp, we do not have any viable preparedness mitigation measures in cases of emergencies in River State. Disaster-related issues in River State have been politicized as the state has resolved not to create State Emergency Management Agency SEMA, rather create committees as ad hoc as against the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Cases of emergency will continue until mitigation measures and professional disaster managers are established and equipped in the state. Ogbedi Goodluck, PhD, said that. All right. Once again, call 0817 963 0002 or 0003 or 0007. WhatsApp on 0809 030 6416. Mr. Abel, what do we need to be doing in Rivers State to ensure that we are adequately prepared to prevent and or manage disasters when they do happen?
One of the things that I will advocate very quickly is they are usually called Dubegeri up north. They are called Wale Wale in the southwest and Ndenaleala in the southeast. In my native Kana language, we say Pia Epke. Sanitary inspectors will fill the gap for what we have to do now, because they are responsible for inspecting the markets. They are responsible for looking at the drains. They are responsible for inspecting and auditing homes, houses. And these are the places that we are saying these things are kept. Are you getting me? And since 2007, unfortunately, there has not been any employment of environmental health officers in Rivers State. And I think that that is a serious gap, and it should be addressed as soon as possible. Going forward, it will also be needed to look at the way we manage our environment. The ministries of environment, the ministries of health, that these officers at domicile should go around and do check. If you look at the environment recently, you see that even on the new roads that have been done by the River State government, the manholes, the covers on the manholes have been removed. And I don't know why the Ministry of Works or the police, or is it the Ministry of Environment that should oversee these places? And I don't know whether these things are being removed in the day or in the night. And this, our environment needs to be properly checked and audited. I did a check. The Ministry of Environment has less than 40 environmental health officers as we speak, and they are supposed to have oversight over the whole city of Port Harcourt and its environment. And there is a serious gap, and it needs to be addressed. The environment needs to be checked. The environment is left, on its own for too long. We need to address it.
And would you say that within the State Emergency Management Agency in Rivers State as well?
Of course. And also, somebody was talking about, signposts and dressing and all that. What we're doing in Subdream is purely, what's it called now? For free. Nobody has employed any trained person from those centers we are talking about. We are still doing things for free. And we are still willing to render assistance if called upon to do so by NEMA and other agencies.
And that we have to wrap up the conversation. Many thanks for joining it, and especially many thanks to my guest in the studio, Abel Jeremiah, Chairman, Society of Professional Disaster Risk Managers of Nigeria, Rivers State Chapter. Hopefully we'll do more in Rivers State to prepare ourselves for disasters. Abel Jeremiah, many thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. And thank you.
We got to the news update coming up at 5 p.m. When I return, concerns about child trafficking here in Rivers State. Should parents be overly concerned for the safety of their children? I'll be joined by Tom Barry Dumka Kote, Coordinator, Rivers State Response Team on Violence Against Women and Children. Do please stay with us.